tag team partner, Madman Fulton!
This is your main event, featuring the main event. What a tag team collision this is about to be. Joe Dombrowski and guest host for the evening, and questionable open challenge booker Andy Frampton by my side.
I feel like my efforts tonight have been impeccable.
Well, I want to know who's going to have the impeccable effort in this matchup, because you've got three bona fide hosses. You've got three skyscrapers in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of meat in that ring.
Against arguably the best aerialist in the business today, Ace Austin. Brings a different style in this matchup. Ace Austin is a two-time X Division champion. He dethroned and defeated TJ Perkins this past weekend at the Sacrifice pay-per-view, I do believe, as it is Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, perennial top contenders of the Impact Tag Team Championship, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
They have challenged, but they have not defeated any of the champions for those titles. But the main event, Gannon Jones Jr., Duke Davis, in their travels, they do hold a victory over former Impact Tag Team champions, the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, while Page and Alexander were the champions. So could that be a psychological leg up for TME, who have held 3 or 4 different sets of tag team titles at once in as many different states? They have traveled. They're not on television, but they have been hustling. They've been grinding. They've been building their name.
I don't know if that'll be a psychological advantage against Fulton and Ace here. I don't know if it's possible to get a psychological advantage over Fulton, let alone the high-flying.
And here's the thing, Andy. Ace Austin is about 30 or 40 pounds of muscle heavier than when I met the man. And,
that's impressive.
You know, on the surface, it may look funny for him bowing up to Gannon Jones Jr., but Ace Austin doesn't know that he's not 6'5" and 270. To him, that's another day at the office. It's just proving some more people wrong and proving what an athlete he's turned into, because Ace Austin has built muscle and built size, but has not lost that agility.
Well, look, the heart of a champion and the fist of a warrior are definitely two things you need in this business, let alone this match, when you're, for lack of a better term, the littlest dog in the yard.
Gannon Jones Jr. is about 6'5". Duke is almost 6'6". I believe Madman Fulton is 6'8". That's the tail of the tape there.
And we saw just a while back Madman Fulton going absolutely nuts on Christian Cobain in an Anything Goes match a few months ago.
That was last man standing rules, and it was so brutal and so physical, Andy. It wound up being Christian Cobain's final matchup in Pro Wrestling Conquest.
Yes.
And that shows you the lasting effects that some of these no disqualification stipulation matches have. But Fulton, if you ask him, I'm sure he'd do it all over again tonight.
Oh, he'd probably do it tonight and twice on Sunday.
Yeah. Gannon Jones Jr. with the wrist lock. Gannon may be a hair quicker than Fulton, but Fulton's more powerful. Gannon is Pro Wrestling's all-star. There's not much he can't do. And TME, they're still new to the Conquest scene. They got a big win over Money Shot at our last installment, but they've been teaming consistently for, I would suggest, the past 3 to 4 years at this point. And I think in that conversation about not just top team in Conquest, but top team in this part of the country, TME are very much in that conversation.
Oh, 100%. It's like you said, at the very least, the Eastern Seaboard. Possibly, maybe all the way to the Mississippi.
Gannon to his feet, and the pace quickens, but I have never seen anyone catch Gannon Jones Jr. like that. Just so effortlessly and deposit him down.
Yeah, but we've seen Fulton put a ton of guys down like that.
Yeah. I don't think Gannon knows what to make of that. No one has ever manhandled 6'5", 250 plus like Madman Fulton just got away with, and now tag into the metahuman Duke Davis.
Yeah, I do appreciate that tag to Duke. I'm not saying he was afraid, but it was definitely like all right, you deal with him.
And this is the first time I have ever seen the metahuman have to look up at someone to go eye to eye with them. This is history in its own right. Duke is quick as well. Duke's been chronicling his fitness journeys on social media. He's trained lean. He's cut weight for this matchup. I believe that his lean is down to around 240, maybe even a little less. And Duke Davis has done that so he can out-quicken Fulton. He can out-endurance Fulton. And bottom line, that is what he's going to look to do here. If I'm TME, I may look to make this a marathon match.
Absolutely, because the cardio aspect is going to play in their favor here.
That's at least on the Fulton side. The Austin side, maybe not so much. I think that's what makes Fulton and Austin so dangerous together. It's the power and the poetry, as they would call it, because one can complement the other so well. It's a perfect 1-2 punch, all bases covered.
Right. It's a kind of a Beauty and the Beast aspect. Although I'm not gonna tell you which one's which.
Well, I think TME are going to make sure that neither one are beautiful after this situation. Double back suplex, and they made Fulton think about it. Fulton was kicking his legs, but nowhere to go. Ace just tagged himself in. TME to dispose of the big man, but here comes Austin. Oh. Austin always has an ace up his sleeve, but
in no man's land right now, though. That's
deposited on top of Madman Fulton into the waiting arms of Fulton, who makes sure Austin's not hurt, but Duke Davis runs his body into the opposition, proving they're not safe no matter where they go. And Austin sent back in. And you hear Gannon Jones Jr. calling plays. He's got many of them written on his forearm, and they've got that code devised, just like any good football team. You don't want the enemy to know what your playbook is or what you're calling, and check out the handoff. Unreal power. And Austin's the smallest man in this match, and he may not look that big next to these three men, but Austin is around 200 pounds.
And still, that was a long way down for Ace.
And a near fall there. Austin and Fulton, the tag team champions for AAW in Chicago, one of the most prominent independent companies there is today. Ace Austin is a prodigy. X Division Star of the Year, Match of the Year. He's got more awards and plaques than he knows what to do with. I talked about it last broadcast. He was a hair away from being the youngest major champion in this industry in over 80 years. Depending on what you recognize, he could have been the youngest world champion in the history of our entire profession.
Yeah, like you said, his repertoire and his list of accolades speaks for itself. But at the moment,
reaching for a tag, reaching for Fulton, but nowhere to go there.
I was say at the moment, he is still the smallest guy in there against two behemoths.
We saw Austin pull off a win over a very enraged Jason Gorey at our last installment. Austin got under Gorey's skin before winning that one. We've seen Austin defeat the likes of Facade and Trey Lamar. We've seen him defend the X Division Championship before, but nothing like this environment, as Duke is able to wrestle Austin away from the grip that Austin had, and Fulton trying to get involved. This is what Austin doesn't want. Oh, into the eyes, grabbing the hair. Austin.
He's got him. No, plants him.
You got a double handful of dreads. You'll go anywhere Ace Austin tells you to at that point.
Absolutely.
And now Fulton gets the tag. Austin has to hit and run. If he gets caught in the grip of one of TME, he's in a bad, bad way. We saw that nearly a moment ago.
Well, they cooking up here.
And Snake Eyes, notice Duke got dropped face first on the knees of Austin, and then Fulton follows through with a boot. Nicely done into the lateral press for two. And what does it mean to the Conquest tag team scene now that Fulton and Austin, for the first time as a team, have inserted themselves in the conversation?
Oh, well, like we spoke earlier tonight, with Huff Manley and Levi Everett teaming against Mandime and such, we've got a stacked roster of potential tag team champions here, and I can't call a clear front runner out of these guys.
Well, I think in theory, whoever survives this matchup could be considered number one in Pro Wrestling Conquest, but I underscore could, because there's a lot of debate and a lot of conjecture that can be thrown into that conversation. Ace Austin tagged back in. Austin is such a student of the game, from the Wild Samoan Academy to relocating to Dayton to now in Impact Wrestling to count on Duke Davis. Austin has studied some of the best. He has immersed himself in this business. And sometimes you don't like the means he does it, and you don't like that cocky swagger about it, but there's no denying the success level of Ace Austin, and at such a young age, the best is still well ahead of his future.
Oh yeah, you know, the kid found what works for him, and he just exploits it. And that is especially something that he's putting on show here tonight. He's, to my surprise, I know we've mentioned the height difference. It hasn't been a factor for him as much as I thought it would. And every time he looks like he's in a pickle, he's able to get over to Fulton and tag in and equal the playing field.
Well, Austin's picking his spots. He's being an opportunist, and he's letting Fulton do a lot of the heavy lifting. And that is a sound strategy.
I was about to say, I think you're calling it picking your spots, whereas I see it as just good ring strategy and intelligence.
Well, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying it in a resourceful way. I'm saying it in a thinking man's strategy way, but no thought needed. And that just raw power of the clothesline.
Yeah, because look,
two count only.
When you got a guy on your side that can just blast off on the cannons like that, there is no reason to not let him go in there and go to war for you.
That's the kind of clothesline that can break a collarbone.
Absolutely. I would not be surprised if he hasn't crushed more larynxes tonight in his history than most.
Gannon Jones Jr. leading on the chance of TME. The main event thought they had a sound and safe strategy. They'd studied film. They wrote up the playbook, but Fulton and Austin divide and conquer here, cut the ring off at its hypotenuse, have run away with the bulk of this match. I notice Duke is isolated again, not even on the apron anymore after the onslaught.
That's a good night right there.
Yeah. I notice again, Ace Austin picked his spot. The strike to the back of the head will cut down any big man. 2 count only. And when you're flat on your back, you're not 6'6" anymore. And I give all the credit to Ace Austin. No fear, no intimidation. Austin knew that it was a daunting task, but he would find a way, especially when you got the biggest man in the room as your backup. And Austin, notice he is grounding Duke Davis, and Ace is outsized. But when Austin has his weight leaning in over top of Duke's weight, then Ace's becomes advantageous to him, and Duke's size is neutralized.
Yeah, that's the secret to taking down a big man. Take out the legs, that height doesn't matter anymore. He knows that, he's exploiting it to this point, and now letting Fulton go back into work.
And I think the most valuable thing about this group, about this tandem, is that Austin has been able to channel that rage of Madman Fulton and give him focus. And we saw Fulton in that matchup with Cobain a number of months ago. That match was all over the place, and I think Fulton was less concerned with victory than just beating the hell out of the guy and hurting him and having fun doing it. Here, Fulton has that goal, has that end goal in his crosshairs, and it's because Ace Austin is so success-minded.
Does seem to be the case when there's parameters and rules in play.
Oh, wait a minute. Duke just shoved Fulton into Austin. Austin takes an awkward tumble. The small of the back hit the edge of the apron, and Fulton the worse for wear as well. But can Duke find Gannon? Time is running thin for the main event. And Fulton went for Gannon again, but Gannon dropped down. Oh, check out the vertical leap. Incredible drop kick by the metahuman.
I mean, that's got to be 6 feet straight from a flat-footed position.
An insane vertical leap by the metahuman, who can do things that just ordinary humans cannot. But can he make the tag? Because that's the most important thing that could be the difference maker between a win and a loss. He's inching.
Wait, Ace is on the outside.
Oh, Ace Austin just pulled the leg of Gannon. We lost sight of Austin after he took that tumble off the ropes. And it was by design, as Austin creeps around the side and German release suplex. Duke landed on the back of his head.
Fulton's over here cracking vertebrae.
And again, I've never seen anyone suplex Duke Davis quite like that.
Now, this has been a first on a lot of things we've seen happen to Duke.
It was effortless. It was emphatic. And it's one thing to be German suplexed every night, but to never have felt that before and have to deal with it mid-match, that's something that Duke Davis is processing now.
Yeah, it's probably screwing up his entire game plan.
Yeah. Normally, Duke Davis will not go anywhere Duke Davis does not want to. He does not have that luxury in this outing. Oh, Duke got the foot up. Cut Austin in the face. Oh, but check out the instincts of Austin, the waist lock, to try to keep Duke away from his corner. If Duke crosses that plane to the center of the ring, that's what Austin and Fulton do not want. And Austin will do anything to take Duke back to the ground before he gets within arm's reach of the All-Star. And if this arm of Duke drops 3 times, this match is over, but nothing doing. Duke will not be silenced. He will not be deterred.
If Ace was to take Duke down in that way, it would be definitely a feather in the cap. Now he gets the tag.
With Austin on his back, Duke makes the tag.
Ace was smart.
What tenacity, and Austin right back up to try to deal with the freshest man in this matchup, Gannon Jones Jr. Sidewalk slam. And a high knee for Fulton. The tempo changes, and this is the chance for TME to rally back here. Finley-style roll at Gannon Jones Jr. The springboard moonsault, nicely done. Gannon on top. He's got him all half a count away. If that, it was inches for a TME victory.
Like a 2 3/4 the way I saw it.
Oh, what would this mean for either of these teams? This could make or break a career here. A high-profile matchup, a main event, anywhere you slice it. A stomp right to the face, and there's another near fall. Man, that punt-like kick by Gannon Jones Jr. can do so much damage, but with a skull the size of Fulton.
Yeah, I am always in awe of how much it takes to actually keep Madman Fulton down. They might have the answer here, though.
Oh, wait a minute. This could be the flagrant foul. That's how
Ace is back in.
That's how they beat Money Shot, if I recall. But Ace Austin plays spoiler. They've been studying tape as well. On Fulton, one-handed, sends Duke Davis to the floor. Again, I've never seen anything like that. Tag back in to Ace Austin again, the numbers game. Oh, a choke slam. And Ace Austin supporting from underneath. And almost a chokeslam powerbomb combination. And Ace Austin feeling himself here. He's got the cover, but Duke Davis at the last possible second, able to save his partner. My God.
I don't know how these guys are still standing. We've watched the main event go toe-to-toe with these guys in both their aspects. We've also watched Fulton manhandle both of his adversaries. This may be the most physically taxing match we've seen all night.
And that says a lot, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Think of the ground that covers. And notice, I mean, Gannon couldn't be any more in enemy territory now. Crowd coming alive again for TME. Oh, Ace Austin literally about 10 or 12 feet tall right now. And going to try to chokeslam Gannon. Gannon fights here.
That was the plan.
Creates some distance. Oh, but Fulton with a boot. And Fulton uses Austin. Fulton used Austin as an offensive weapon. Down and, near fall.
You gotta be kidding me.
Austin was elevated off of Fulton's shoulders, so from about 8 or 9 feet in the air, down with a senton to Gannon.
That would have rendered a normal man unconscious.
And Gannon needs help here, but Duke is still hurt. Duke hasn't made it to the apron yet. Austin and Fulton have dominated this matchup, and just when you thought TME had a glimmer of hope, they were shut down again.
Fulton tagged in and going to the top rope. I don't like where this is going at all.
Oh, there's no telling what this 6'8" behemoth can pull out. Oh. Drop looked like a headbutt. All of his weight driven down onto Gannon and another near fall. Just can't keep this tag team down. And Duke tried to get involved. Ace Austin back in. Oh, wait a minute. Austin's got that cane. Austin with that cane And Duke is wide open. No, Austin Fulton. Duke plays spoiler. Gannon the roll up. TME got the win.
That very well may have saved their souls.
Andy, I honestly don't know if I'd call this an upset or not. Here in Conquest, I would say it is because of Austin and Fulton's track record. But TME have been champions and successes everywhere they have been. This just solidifies Conquest as a new home for perhaps pro wrestling's best tag team in the tri-state area.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Definitely not an upset. A hard-fought battle down the middle every moment. And I am very excited to see where our tag team division goes from here.
Gannon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis prove that on any given night, they can beat one of the best tag teams going today. Austin and Fulton realize if they want to conquer Conquest like they have elsewhere, they've got their work cut out for them. This roster keeps growing and getting better and better by the event. Andy, what a night we have had. A little bit of everything, some controversy, some intrigue, some surprise, but bar none, more often than anything else, the best professional wrestling in West Virginia.
Oh, hands down, hands down. There was something for everybody here tonight, and it's just going to get better and better as we go.
Timmy celebrates. Stay posted to Pro Wrestling Conquest. Search us out on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back here before long with another incredible Pro Wrestling Conquest digital release. For Andy, I'm Joe Dombrowski. Thanks for watching and enjoy the TME celebration.